Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Welcome to the Grow Tent, everybody. You have found the best growing channel on YouTube, man. The place where we simplify the approach for you so everyone can learn how to grow. We make it so simple, even I can understand. So I'm going to listen and learn right now.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grow Tent. We got a fantastic episode for you today. It's a quick one, but we had a question that I thought deserved a little more attention in one of our comment sections. If you guys don't know, anytime you throw questions in the comment section, there's a decent chance I might make a video on it because that's where I get a lot of the ideas for my shows because it's the questions you guys have, so why would I not want to direct my content towards it? So the question we had today was about the seedling stage, and that's what we're going to talk about. And it pertains to domes and how long you leave the light on, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about seedlings. First of all, guys, if you haven't joined the Patreon, join the Patreon. It's probably the best Patreon in the game, as we would put it. What else we got? The channel is sponsored by Mars Hydro right there. Do something over there. Do something. We got Mars Hydro. If you're looking to buy a new light, new tints, new whatever, there is discount codes in the video description below. Just click the link for the part of the world that you are in, and then put in WTTGT at the end. Whenever you check out, it's going to give you some extra money off, and it does help support the channel too. Guys, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That also helps out the channel a ton, along with watching the video. If you do learn something, even if you don't, if you just like seeing old GT's beautiful face, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It does help the channel a ton. What else we got? Oh yeah, if you want to ever see me mess around with ball pythons and snakes and spiders and stuff like that, I got another channel where I do that. You can find that in the link below. It's called Spartan Pythons and Tarantulas. I know, super original, but hey, my shirts work whenever I go to the shows. I just throw on one of my Spartan shirts back there, and I got plenty of them. I just throw one of those on, and then I go on about my day. And I'm like, yeah, the Spartan Python. See the shirt? It's got a Spartan on it. What else we got? We missing anything else from the beginning of the video? I don't think so. Oh, if you want to buy the same equipment that GT uses, well, not all of it, but some of it you can find at welcometothegrowtent.com. All right, guys, let's get today's episode started. All right, guys, this is going to be a two-part episode. So the first one we're going to talk about, because seedling stage, it's going to vary slightly depending on whether we're talking about if we are planting seeds or if we are growing clones. So today's episode we are going to be focusing on the seed aspect of it, and then what's today, Tuesday, so probably Thursday I'll drop one of these same ones with clones, because while a lot of the information is close to the same, there is some differences on it. And whenever we're talking about the clones video, I will do a section for the cubes, I will do a section for dirt, and then I will do a section for hydro as well, because I've grown them in all three, and I've had enormous success with my seedlings in every single stage, or every single media. So I will we'll talk about all three on the clone stage. But for today, we're going to we can talk about soil or the cubes. It's going to be identical information when we're talking about doing it with the actual exotic bird food. So first things first, the main part of the question was, do I have to leave the dome on for the full 4 weeks? We're going to be talking about the way I do it here is I grow in a Mondi dome, and I use root right cubes or rapid rooters. I've been mainly using rapid rooters lately because we had a problem with the root rights about 9 months ago now. So we switched over to rapid rooters, and whenever we're talking about the seedlings, they say, do you need to leave the dome on, the Mondi dome, for the full? All right, we're back. So the main question was, do you leave the dome on with seedlings for the full 4 weeks? And the answer is no, you don't have to. Can you leave it on? You can. Like if you don't have stands for your lights, for the little 2-foot T5 that comes with it, if you don't have a stands for it, you can leave the dome on. You'll eventually outgrow it, and you will need some stands. But you don't have to leave it on. The reason, like whenever we do clones, we will be leaving it on, and we'll talk about that soon, or on Thursday's episode. But for the seedlings, the reason we're leaving the dome on is to create that higher humidity environment. And with you're dealing with clones, they need that. They need that higher humidity because they don't have any root system yet. And if they don't have any humidity up by where the plant is, they die really easily. Which if you've tried to do clones without humidity, you know they die extremely fast before they get roots. But with a seed, the first thing that comes out is the root, and the root is able to intake water, so you don't need to keep that humidity. So with my seedlings, after they all pop out of the ground, usually 3 or 4 days after you've sowed the exotic bird food into the ground, usually 3 or 4 days after that, they will have all broken ground. And after they all break ground, I usually let them finish out the week with the dome, and then I just take it off and I set it to the side. I keep my light on a stand, just two little bars. They're not expensive. You can find them on Amazon for like $30, and then you can just move your light height up and down. But no, so the answer is no. You do not have to leave the dome on for the full 4 weeks. You can, but you don't have to, because they already have roots. So that is the first answer to it, to the first question. The second is, how do I go about feeding my seedling? Because if you give them to seedling, is the weakest part of the weakest time. It's one of the hardest times people have growing. Seedlings are always dying, and it's because the plant is so weak at this time period. So if you give it too much of anything, water, light, nutrients, it just kills them. So this is why my method of growing works really well, because you do the least amount possible, not the most. So with seedling, my extremely simple method to feeding them is I get some Clonex solution. This is if they're in cubes. If they're in dirt, like fox farms or anything, you don't have to do any of the feeding because there's already nutrients in the soil. But if I'm in the cubes, which are inert, they don't have anything in it. It's like growing in cocoa. Then I have to feed them, and I will give them 3 milliliters of Clonex solution, not rooting gel. There's 2 products that Clonex makes. One is the rooting gel, the other is the solution. The solution is the food, the rooting gel is the hormone to help the roots come out of when you dip the clones in, help it make roots faster. We don't use the rooting gel for the seeds. We only use it for the clones. So we get the Clonex solution, which is the baby food. Think of it as baby food for plants. They get 3 milliliters of that one time per week in a 20-ounce bottle, or whatever normal size, whatever water bottle you got. Just throw 3 milliliters of food in there, and then you're off to the races. What else we got? Mycorrhiza. Do you use mycorrhiza in seedling stage? Yeah, absolutely. I use mycorrhiza from the very start of seedling. The very first time I put the seeds in, I mix mycorrhiza into the water bottle and with 3 milliliters of Clonex solution, and then that's what they get the very first time, and then they get that every other week from start through week 6 of flower. I had some doofus arguing with me that you only needed to give the mycorrhiza maybe one time whenever you transplanted. No, that is 100% incorrect. Just you can give it every 2 weeks, and it helps build up the rhizosphere in your soil, and you will get bigger roots because of it. But can you only give it one time? Yeah, you can. Will you be maximizing your effort for it? Will it hurt them giving it too much? No. Well, you can't give too much mycorrhiza. Will it affect your end yield if you give it too less? Yes. Now, what I am not saying is to just go dump bags of like recharge or anything into your plants. Just give it to them, give them 1 teaspoon, I think it's teaspoon, 1 teaspoon every other week from start through week 6 flower, and I promise you'll have great results with it. Let me see, was there any other parts to that question? Let's see, we did the dome, we did the feeding. Another one was, when do you transplant your from the cubes into your solo cups? And the answer to that is when you have roots. The cube it has 4 sides and the top and the bottom, so it has 6 sides. Whenever you have roots coming out of all 4 sides and the bottom, that is whenever I will take and transplant them from the cubes and put the cubes into the soil in the solo cup. So, and I'm not talking about, I've got a little bit of root hairs around the bottom coming out of all 4 sides of the bottom. No, I mean, whenever you have roots coming out of all 4 sides, not all the way to the top, but pretty good distance, and the bottom. Usually my roots are about this long out of all the sides and the bottom whenever I take them from the cube tray and put them into uh, the solo cups or the 1 gallons, whatever I'm going to do. And oh yeah, this channel is sponsored by Bubbly. Not really, but hopefully someday. Oh yeah, this is water for everybody that wants to know. I've had some people think this was alcohol, and some people think it's soda, and they're like, "Hey, I brought your bubbly, your cherry bubbly. That stuff's just water." Yeah, it's just water. I don't drink anything besides water. But I think that'll cover it with your T5 lights. If you're, oh no, that's not going to cover it. We got to talk about lights still. We talked about food. We talked about the media. We talked about mycorrhiza, and we got to talk about the lights. I keep them under a 2-foot T5 for the first 4 weeks. I don't care if I'm into the solo cups or into the 1 gallons. I keep them under 2-foot T5s. If I run out of room and I have to put them into my veg tent, I am going to take the plants. I don't ever put seedlings directly under the light unless I'm under the 2-foot T5, then you have to. But if I'm going into my big tents, let's say it's week 3 of seedling, I was like, crap, I just need the room or something. Something has come up and I need to put them in the veg tent. Your goal is to keep them, remember, we don't try to skip steps. We don't try to fast forward through our grows. That is how we end up with problems. You don't try and skip steps. So I want to give them the full 4 weeks of 24 hours of light on in seedling stage. If I'm going to have to move them to the big tent, they still get 24 hours of light, but I take them, I never put them directly under the light. I take them and I shove them off into the corners. And by shoving them off into the corners, you know that you get less light on the corners of the tent. The amount of light that a seedling needs is hardly anything. So under the big lights, especially big LED lights, you can kill them really, really quickly. You'll see them, they'll start eating their leaves up, they'll start turning yellow, and then they just crisp up and die. I'm sure some of you have had this experience, and stop giving them too much light. Those little baby plants need next to nothing. So if I am going to put them in that tent, I turn that light all the way down. Not to 25%, I turn it all the way down and then stick the plants in the corner until I can get them through their week 4. Then I'm going to switch the timer to 18.6. I'll bring the light to 25%, and I still keep my plants on the edges of the tents. I'll push them all to one side. I don't start them just directly under the middle. I never do. I literally just squish them all to the side. I make the best canopy I can, and then I let the plants grow out across the tent. I don't ever have them all spread out. I constantly want them forming a canopy to where light is not shining through them and hitting the ground. I want them all pushed to one side and making a nice dense canopy. That is what I want. But now we're talking into veg, and I think that pretty much covers everything with seedlings. So once again, guys, remember to ask questions in the comment section because good chance I'll turn it into a video. All right, see you guys next time. Later.